here's how I lit those images of Sama that you've seen flying around. So yeah, without wasting too much time, let's get right into the breakdown. The images were primarily shot with three main lights, and I'll just start with the first light, the main light. That is the key light, and that was using a very large softbox. It was very large. I don't know the exact dimensions of the softbox, but I think it's one of the largest ones that you can find. And then I placed it really close to the subject because I wanted a dramatic fall off. If you know anything about inverse Coiler for lights, you would understand what I mean, why I needed that softbox to be very close. So it had a very soft fall off on the subject, but it quickly fell into the shadows. So yeah, that was the main light that was actually lighting the subject from top down. And then the second light I was using was a snoot. Yeah, bear in mind the first light was using an 8600, and then the second one was also using an 8600, and that had a snoot as the modifier attached to it, and I also had a red gel. It was kind of a mixture of two colors to kind of give that red, that deep red, but yeah, the red gel kind of give it a red color at the final image. And so yeah, the snoot was positioned to kind of fall off on the background, and it was giving that splash of color in the background, and it did a beautiful thing whereby the subject it was actually red and then the snoot was red, and so parts of it was actually falling off and getting onto the subject there and kind of giving it that glue and making the red deep. And one thing I also was considering when I was shooting those portraits is I wanted to be doing something complementary with the background, because red and green kind of goes. If you look at the color wheel, I don't know if it's complementary or something or analogous, I'm not quite sure, but I just knew that I wanted there to be contrast, and red and green, the background was green and then the light from the snoot was also red. It was kind of giving some sort of contrast, and it really looked really nice on the image. And then the third light that I was using was a continuous light that was set to a warm temperature, and that was just positioned to kind of highlight the subject set, to kind of give air lights to the subject, and that was just making the air kind of glow and also made the red kind of deeper. And yeah, that's basically how I lit those ones, or how I lit those portraits. I would be adding a BTS image so that you can kind of get an idea of how I did that. And also, lest I forget, there was also a reflector set to the black side to kind of take away shadows, to kind of increase the shadows and increase contrast and basically remove any reflections and just make it overall more dramatic. Yeah, so yeah, that is how I shot those portraits that you've seen flying around. If you happen to have any questions, you can ask me, but yeah, without any other thing else to add, catch you guys in the next one. Peace.